And I came to this understanding after I let Steve Collins get away in the 10th round when I knocked him down. I didn't go after him. And the reason I didn't go after him because I didn't want to kill him. And I thought to myself I would kill him. The hypnosis playing on my mind and all. But after the fact, I should have killed him. Or let me use different words. His life is not more important than my career. But that's not just me speaking. That is boxers in general speaking. A man's life is not more important than a man's career. That's a very tough and hard thing to say, but that's the way it is.
Good evening, Late Night Homies. I'm Dominic Diamond.
I'm Helen Chamberlain. Welcome to a Live and Dangerous special.
Okay, now you've just seen the Chris Eubank comments that caused the storm when he appeared on the show last week. Tonight, it's quite literally round two. We've got WBO super middleweight champ, the aforementioned Mr. Steve Collins, heads back at Eubank.
And you can put your questions to Steve live on the show. Dial our usual studio number now, 0990 200 655. That's 0990 200 655. The lines are open now, and our team of telephonists are ready and waiting to take your calls.
But that guy's not one of our telephonists, because we can't afford him. Right. But I'm delighted to say, joining me now is World Super Middleweight Champion, and more importantly, Celtic fan, Mr. Steve Collins. Thanks so much for coming on the show, Steve.
Cheers, thank you.
Come all the way from Ireland just for this show. And a little tour to Paramount, to Pinewood as well, wasn't it?
On the way,
What'd you say
just to
about
kill time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it, of course. It was hanging out with Pierce Brosnan and everything. Right, before we get going though, some people might have missed last week's show and they're probably regretting it now.
Well, I'm one of them.
It was an ad, but you've seen it since.
No, I haven't. I've only,
Have you not seen the comments
I was in France on my holidays. I arrived back to France on Saturday, and I went down with my family for another holiday in the south of Ireland, and I haven't seen it, but I've been informed what went on, so I'm curious.
It was in a couple. We managed to make it in a couple of newspapers reported on it. Well, what we're going to do is, Chris was on. He made a series of comments regarding Steve. For those who did miss it, here is Titus Hill with the saga so far.
When Chris Eubank appeared on Live and Dangerous last week, he caused an uproar with his comments.
And I came to this understanding after I let Steve Collins get away in the 10th round when I knocked him down. I didn't go after him. And the reason I didn't go after him because I didn't want to kill him. And I thought to myself I would kill him. The hypnosis playing on my mind and all. But after the fact, I should have killed him. Or let me use different words. His life is not more important than my career. But that's not just me speaking. That is boxers in general speaking. A man's life is not more important than a man's career. That's a very tough and hard thing to say, but that's the way it is.
The national papers were quick to pick up on the interview, taking exception to some of what was said. The British Boxing Board of Control declined from making any statement, saying that they were looking at Eubank's comments before deciding whether to take any action. However, some other members of the boxing fraternity were more forthcoming.
When I first heard the story, my impression was that it was another Chris Eubank comment taken out of context, but having watched the tape, Chris Eubank spoke in a very thoughtful, very calculated way, and I was absolutely shocked by what he said. I actually think he's brought boxing into disrepute, and I think he should be slapped with a heavy fine.
No professional athlete goes in there with the intention of inflicting permanent damage on your opponent. I think that is the line which had to be drawn, to actually differentiate between a sport and an act of barbarism. Boxing is a sport which it is, and at the end of the day, you've got to be prepared that when you step into the ring, you can actually inflict lasting damage on your opponent. But I think Chris actually chose the wrong kind of words, and as a result of that, it's been taken out of context.
I certainly think he wants another fight, and I certainly think it's a case of sour grapes. He fought Steve Collins twice, he was beaten twice, he was beaten convincingly twice. It sounds like a man who can't get Steve Collins off his shoulder. He desperately wants to prove he wasn't beaten by the better man. He admitted he lost the second fight fairly and squarely. I think Steve Collins will beat Chris Eubank every time.
Okay, that was the story. Let's deal with the comments Chris made first of all, Steve, about the first fight, which you won on a majority points decision, not majority, a unanimous points decision.
Hang on a minute. They called the majority, but they tried to retract it. It was a mistake, Someone must have been mixed us up somewhere.
Well, he said, I let him get away. I didn't want to kill him. Now, Could he have killed you in that fight when he put you down in the 10th round?
No, not at all. I think there's an awful lot of crap involved in what's going on, because, I mean, the guy is looking for attention. He's very wise. He wants to get the media's attention, and he came out with those statements which he planned before he came in to say, because it's obvious by looking at him, the way he worded it, that he thought about what he was going to say. And fair play, done a good job. He got the media's attention, and also good for me. He's promoting me every time he speaks, you know. So it's no, I wouldn't pay any attention to it. I think it's okay. I wouldn't. It's just him talking. It's what we expect.
So were you worried at all when you were put down in the 10th round of that fight?
No, because if you're allowed to show a clip of it, you could actually see that I was smiling, and I actually finished the count for the referee. And
we'd love to show a clip, but Sky have started charging $2,000 for a minute for it. Not that they're trying to scupper us, because we've actually done something good for boxing.
Well, I actually think $2,000 is quite a bargain for it. And I think if I'd have known, I probably would have given you something towards it, you know. I don't know how Sky TV can afford to pay athletes by giving clips at such a cheap price, but however, go ahead.
But the thing is that...
But you're a Scotsman, so you're tight, you know, it's hard to get money out of you.
I am, and I eat haggis, and I drink whiskey all the time. Now, the thing is, though, I watched that fight, right? And, I mean, for a start, Eubank had just come off the fight against Henry Wharton, which I thought he was magnificent in. I thought it was a great fight. Now, that fight, you surprised him because your work rate was just phenomenal, and right from the start, and that really surprised him. When he put you down on the floor, though, I thought that you did look troubled, and he did back away.
No, he didn't back away, because I've seen the fight. I love watching the fight, because to me it was the win I needed to prove I was the best around. When he caught me, I was standing square. No, I mean, it's happened in my last fight. The guy wasn't a big puncher. You know, it's all about balance. I went down, I got up, I smiled to my corner, and I finished the count for the ref. If you look, you'll see me telling the ref, okay, 7-8, and I surprised him too. I stood up, and Eubank came in, ran at me, made a wild swing. I sidestepped him, and he almost fell over. So it's a definite contradiction. But I think he's very aware. He knows what went on. I think he knows what he's saying is not the whole truth. So I think he said what he said to get the attention, and he's been very successful.
You don't think, I mean, what Chris's whole reason for saying it is that after what happened to Michael Watson, the fact that he was convinced that during that fight, Michael Watson was hypnotized. He said there's no way that, you know, someone could have taken those punches. I mean, you know, tragically, he couldn't in the end. He'd come off the Ben fight, where the stories were about Nigel Benn was hypnotized by Paul McKenna. Then you did your wee joke in the weigh-in, pretending to be hypnotized. Now, that's a little bit. I mean, he accused you of cheating because of that. Can you not see how his story gets credence? Because if he's in that position again, he's thinking, do you know what I mean? Oh my God, I think this guy's hypnotized. I don't want it to happen again.
Well, it's a classic case of what's called excuseitis.
Right.
You know, this is all. You must realise there was a second fight. So what was the excuse for the second fight, which I won much more clear? But going back...
But actually, again, while we're on the second fight, see, again, if you look at the second fight, there was the chance you went out there, phenomenal work rate, I think it was about the 6th or the 7th round, you'd started to miss with a couple of punches, and you did look as if you were tiring. Now, if Eubank was wanting to go in for it, right, if he was just thinking, you know, that's it, I'm not going to back up, I'm going to go for it, he would have steamed in there. Now, as it was, you had the phenomenal, you know...
You're talking about the first fight or the second fight now?
I'm talking about the second fight. You were tiring in the 6th round.
Was he?
Yes, he could have gone. You missed it. You missed it.
Do you pay a subscription to Sky TV, do you?
Of course I do.
Well, then,
I have to,
then you must have seen the fight. Then.
I did see the fight.
Were you sober?
You did. You did. You were getting a wee bit tired. He could have gone in there.
That was fooling. That's true. I was trying to suck him in, you know.
Right. And that's all it was. You were never in trouble from Eubank at any point in any of the fights.
No, never.
In the second fight, there was quite a substantial amount of blood. You had a cut eye and everything.
Yeah, for what, half a minute.
I seem to remember it was about. I'm sure it was about 2 or 3 rounds, and I saw the corner.
Well, see, if you went such a mizzo and spent the $2,000, we could actually show it on TV, and I could prove you wrong.
That's my decision.
That's the reason why you're not showing on TV, because I would prove what you're saying wrong.
No.
It's nothing to do with the money at all. I mean, I've seen your wage slip in there. $2,000 is a day's pay for you, but go ahead anyway.
I wish. You must be joking. Do you know what I mean? Okay, well, I'm not going to get you to concede on that at all. As far as you're concerned, you beat Eubank. No problems. I'm presuming that, as far as you're concerned, if you fought him again, no problem.
Yeah.
Would you fight him again? It's obvious Chris wants to fight.
You must realise I'm a professional boxer. My business is to get out and fight opponents for a wage. If somebody is, you know, is a successful fighter, is a champion, is you know, promoted by the media, is supported by the public, and TV is willing to pay, this person to perform.
Yeah.
That's the person you fight, because that's the person you make your larger wage from. If Chris Eubank ever reaches a level that he had when I fought him, where he is, you know, there by popular demand, where TV thinks he's so good, they will pay him these large figures, and foreign TV, American TV will also pay to show the fight, which is our wage.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you know, the guy's, for whatever reason, he's finished as a fighter, and he no longer has the media demand to see his fights. He no longer has TV interested in showing his fights. He no longer has sponsorships interested in showing his fights. So there's no reason for me to fight him, because I won't make a penny. But if he ever reached the level he did in the past, where he did have the backing financial, and I would make money fighting, of course I'd fight him. But unfortunately, there's probably 10 guys ahead of him who will make more money fighting, who are a bigger challenge for me.